Hello, delegates! It's so good to be with you, and I love you. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for all you do. I'm here today not to tell you how to vote. I'm here to ask you for your help. Sometimes in Washington, it can get lonely, it can get isolating. Sometimes that happens when our government spends too much and makes every paycheck buy less. Sometimes it gets isolating when government gets bigger and bigger. But we have an opportunity to do something today that we don't ordinarily get to do. We can make a difference right now. We can make a difference today. Are you ready to make a difference today? What we need in Washington right now, more than ever, is a warrior. Now, we happen to have an actual warrior here. A man who was raised in the Uinta Basin and now lives in the Red Rocks of southern Utah. A man who went to West Point and is an actual Green Beret. We have a chance to make a difference, and Colby Jenkins is that difference. Please welcome him.
Courage takes many forms. And what we just saw from our senator endorsing me against an incumbent in his own state and party takes a unique kind of courage. I appreciate the courage that he shows every day as he boldly defends our Constitution. Let's give it up for Senator Lee one more time. Now, delegates, 31 years ago, I raised my hand and took an oath to uphold our Constitution. I've led a Special Forces A team of Green Berets in combat. I've been a Green Beret liaison to Congress. I served as a counterterrorism policy advisor to the U.S. Secretary of Defense. And I still wear the flag on my shoulder as a colonel in the Army Reserve. Now, the Constitution, it's been central to my life. I've been in combat to defend it, and I have friends who are in the ground who gave their lives for it. Now, I want to ask you a question, a few question delegates, and I want to hear your answer loud enough that DC will hear it. So first, under any circumstances, would you, like my opponent, vote for warrantless wiretapping of American citizens? Would you, like my opponent, vote for the $1.2 trillion Schumer-Biden omnibus spending bill with millions in woke earmarks? Would you, like my opponent, vote to send $500 million to the government of Jordan to secure their borders while doing nothing about the millions of illegals flooding across our own border? Well, I hear you, and I'm with you. And if we end this race today, I can promise you they will hear our voices in DC. Now, in such troubling times, I've often asked myself, what gives you hope? People ask me, what gives you hope? And when my youngest daughter was born, I knew that just 3 weeks later, I'd be leaving her and my wife and our youngest daughter to deploy to combat in Afghanistan. Now, knowing that, we named her Olivia Hope, in the hope that I would survive and return home to be her father. Now, 20 years later, Olivia Hope wears the uniform of our nation as she's at her second year at West Point. What gives me hope? What gives me hope? I have literally hope standing here today. And I have hope that at some point, if I'm fortunate to be deployed to the congressional battlefield, I might once again be safeguarded by God in defense of our Constitution and our nation. Thank you, delegates. Let's make history today.